Tithely Next 2024 Part 2 just happened. I was there live in person, but in this video, I'm going to break down the latest announcements on what's coming in Tithely, including Tithely 3.0, which I'm very excited about. I think we're very overdue for as far as the Breeze integration. So I'm excited to share that with you in this video. Again, I'm going to break it down and what it means for your church. And if you're on the fence about Tithely, hopefully give some context on what this platform can do and what I expect it to do in the future. So I was at the Modern Church Leader Conference. I was being a nerd and live tweeting it. And the Tithely Next is basically like the Apple announcement. They share what they're coming out with as far as features and abilities in the platform. And this one was very unique. I noticed Tithely is moving a little bit more from just announcing features to more about casting the vision of why these features exist. So as a tech person, I can imagine it's like, just talk about what's coming up. What can I log in? What can I start playing with? A lot of the Tithely Next announcement was about the vision, the passion, the heart behind it. And if you ever have a question on like, do these guys care about the church? Do they care about the kingdom impact? Or are they just trying to make a quick buck as a business and get capital and all that? If you watch this, you will see that they have a true heart for the business. I didn't know this. Dean, the founder, used to be a pastor. So, I mean, these guys aren't just coming in with a corporate business mindset to make some money off of the church. They are coming in here to build products and deliver services to the church that really impact the gospel. Impact the kingdom with the gospel. So I really love this. And one thing that Dean said here, Dean's on the right there, he said, we provide the tools, but it's up to you to preach the Bible and what the Bible says about giving. So fantastic. They opened a Tithely Next, just talking about the history of Tithely, the story. They do this, I think, every year at the conferences, just a little bit about why they started. They share their founder story. So really good stuff. Then they brought up their, I think he was their CFO. Apology, I don't remember. And he talked a lot about recurring giving. And it's something that scares a lot of people, and a lot of folks will run from when you start asking questions about the theological impacts, the Christian discipline impacts of recurring giving. And I think we understand that with recurring giving and auto debit, the gift to the church, whether you consider that a tithe, whether you consider it an offering or a gift or a donation or a pledge, I think we understand that you avoid slumps like this that he put on the screen. There is no summer slump because as people travel, their funds get shifted around. They're not at church as much, so they're not giving as much. But with recurring giving, it really flattens out that graph because it's just an auto debit. It's just something that comes out every month like your compassion payment. And I love this, that I was really impressed with this, that they actually addressed the most common objections for not doing recurring giving, including some questions that I've never heard any other giving provider really address head on before. He spoke about, wanting to give in the moment and the intentional giving in that moment. And I 100% get that. I think we need to return to a point where we honestly sit down and reflect as a part of corporate worship, the gift that we give. I also don't like when churches have cards that say, I give online, and just so you have something to put in the basket. I think that's I just don't like it. I think it's a little vain, a little performative, so to speak. But, he just flat out said, we understand that. And one of the things that we address is, you're not giving anything in the moment because you have a recurring gift or a recurring donation or tithe, whatever you call it, automatically coming out. He said, but there's nothing to stop you from stopping and reflecting on that gift, praying over that gift, whether it's coming up or whether it's past. You can still take that time to create a corporate worship moment. I really like the way he said it. I highly recommend that. It looks like it's around the 28-minute mark. He also mentioned saving the church fees by giving by check or cash. And that's a big one too, right? I mean, I honestly love it when clients send me, we don't have to do monthly debits for our business. We can do quarterly or annual checks. And I love that because I save, anywhere from $500 to $500 on those checks. So I totally understand that. However, you also have to look at the data, and he had a bar graph around here somewhere. But when you have recurring donations, even though a member might say, oh yeah, we give every month and we give by check and cash like clockwork, and I'm sure several do. But others, might think they give or might feel like they have to give, or they might get scared and they lower their donation. And if you look at the trend from just in the moment giving and recurring giving, the church the member actually gives more to the church when it's recurring. So yes, the church loses a little bit from, well, I don't even say loses, but the church does pay some processing fee, whatever it is, 1.7% on average. The giver can also just cover that fee. But over the long term, the church ends up receiving more money. The donor or the tither or church member actually gives more to the church when it is recurring. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you can get every cent of my dollar and it'll be less dollars, or we can pay for the fees, or the church pays for the fees, however that's set up. But over time, you get more dollars. So it's kind of like, I can't even, I want to come up with an analogy for it, but it's like, okay, we can do it this way and this person makes less money, but you make less money. Or we can do it plan B, and that person makes some money, but you make more money. I don't know. I mean, I always look at this from the member perspective, and I totally understand that. And that's why Cover the Fees is so good. We don't recommend platforms that don't cover the fees or don't allow the donor to cover the fee. But it's just one of those things like, to get more dollars, you got to invest in other properties. And sometimes that means that, you got to have something like Tithely that doesn't charge by the month. But you still got to do the processing fees. And by the way, Tithely doesn't get all that money. That money goes to Visa, MasterCard, and the credit card companies. Like, I mean, that's not a Tithely thing. That's not all going to them. So anyways, all that to say, that is a common objection. But at the end, as a member, I need to be tithing every month. And I can tell you, there have been several years when I get my end of the year giving statement and I'm like, wow, I did not give nearly as much as I thought I did. I thought I gave, I don't know, I'm just pulling a number out of my hat, $4,000 this year. But the giving statement came and I only gave $2,600, because I wasn't giving every month. I was scared. I wasn't, committing to my faith and taking that step of faith. I wasn't being, if you believe in the tithe, I wasn't being a good tither. So anyways, all that to say, I really appreciate how he just flat out, spoke to this. He did it in a very loving and respectable way. And they said not being ready to take the step of committing to consistent giving. And one thing that was going through my mind that I thought, I need to do this because, as a business owner, my income is very, bring on new people, I make less. Then we bring up profits, I can make more. And then we bring on more people and I make less. Or we go through a slump and I make less. So it is what it is. So, I'm convicted on recurring giving. But one of the things that came to my mind that he didn't address, that he got me thinking at least, was, well, recurring giving doesn't have to just be your entire tithe. It doesn't have to just be your entire gift, right? I aim to give around $400 a month to my church. That doesn't mean I need to set up $400 recurring every month. I could do $100 recurring. That's still a step of faith. That's still a mustard seed of faith, right? And then I can intentionally in the moment go up to 300. And then as I continue to mature in my faith and eventually take that step, then it's like, all right, let's do it. $400 a month, $500 a month. Let's give a gift that's going to change the way we live our lives. I love that. So anyways, all that to say, I spent way too long on this. This gentleman spoke to, the objections to giving, but also the importance of recurring giving, monthly giving, not only on the church business side, but also on the spiritual side, the discipline side, and what God can do. He had a really great story of a gift that he gave that was such a large gift. It was life altering for him. And I'd love to, I get goosebumps thinking about like what it would be like to do that. So they had some stats. The stats don't lie. You may feel like you give every month. You may feel that church members will give every month, but the stats don't lie. When you have recurring giving, people give more. In fact, people give up to 6 times more. So just really good stuff. I really love this. I'll put a link down below to the Tithely Next announcement. So lots of good stuff is happening from here. They did a breakdown of the different features that you get with Tithely, the websites, now that they have Breeze integrated, they've got, forms management, event signups. They've also got worship planning coming to Breeze. So, similar to what Planning Center is doing, you can manage your volunteers, your worship teams, the songs you're singing, the timing of the sets and all that. So I don't know if that's already in there or if that was coming up. I missed that part. So maybe you'll see that, or comment down below when you watch this. And then they announced Tithely 3.0. And this is the thing that I thought when they acquired Breeze and they really started interconnecting them, that this should have been like the first thing they tackled. But I totally understand that there's a lot of moving parts that I'm just not well equipped on how business works that way. But essentially what they're doing is they are merging Tithely and Breeze into one unified login. So right now, you have to go into Tithely and you do all your Tithely stuff. You go into Breeze, and they are interconnected. They do talk to each other, but they're two different logins. And so now they're bringing it all into one dashboard. I think if I do this, I can, yeah. So they're just bringing everything into one platform. And this was just a little video that they showed. Dan and the engineer that was with him, I don't remember his name. They were a lot of fun. They were goofy. They were like Abbott and Costello up there. But they were just sharing, how they're just, again, continuing to iterate, making the app easier to use. And this is why I recommend Tithely if you are a church admin that needs all the tools. First of all, you can't get these tools cheaper at this quality anywhere else. I mean, $120 a month for everything. It's just ridiculously cheap. And then when you bring Breeze onto it, Breeze, I think, is one of the great church management systems. Then they came up and they talked about some other stuff, and they did let it slip. I don't know if they took it out of the video, out of the recording, but they did let it slip that while they don't believe AI should be doing the work of ministry, they don't believe AI should be writing sermons, they don't believe AI should be directly managing and conversing with people, they do believe AI can help personalize communications, and maybe find different ways to not automate. What did they say? Just save time. So when a pastor speaks on a topic, AI can produce some worship options like, hey, this is some music related to that theme. This is a breakdown of the songs that you've done in the last 6 months. I don't know. There's a lot of things that AI can do to just get some of those administrative redundant tasks off your plate, which I appreciate because we have the same rule here. AI doesn't do the work. We use AI to brainstorm and see other perspectives, analyze data in a way that we can't. And so I appreciate that they're like, this is something that is a game changer, but we're not going to let it be a ministry changer. We're definitely not going to let it take over the ministry. So longer video here, but this was a really good listen. This wasn't a boring Apple presentation. This wasn't CD. What is it? The developers conference, tech. I can't remember. Anyways, this wasn't a boring tech conference. This really was like vision casting. And yeah, if you're just looking for a tool, I think Tithely's great. But if you want a tool that has like a great solid leadership behind it and has a heart, and I certainly can feel it when I hear them and talk to them, they really do have a heart to serve churches. And I think Dean knows and that he could make a lot more money doing this for a lot more, of an NGO focus or a nonprofit focus, but his heart is with the churches. So love the video. If you do nothing else, at least watch the first 20 minutes so you can hear the story of Tithely and how they came about, and then a little bit about what the apps can do for you. So appreciate you guys watching. Do you use Tithely? Comment down below. Are you on the fence with Tithely? If you do want to try it out, I have a link down below. You can just start with their giving. It's free, and start collecting online donations where the donor can cover the fee. So the church gets 100% of the donation. I got a link down below. It's my referral link. Just lets them know that I sent them to you. Use that link, sign up to Tithely, check out their stuff. And again, their websites are one of the only ones I recommend. Their church management is a breeze. So I really enjoy it. So thank you guys. Subscribe for more videos like this. God bless you all, and I will see you all in the next video.